Salvete gladiatores, and welcome to our first product review. Most of you already know me from the Gladiator Reenactment Sport Fencing Group. My name is Sebastian, and I am coach and member of the board of the Gladiator School Trier. We are going to be reviewing a Provocator helmet today that has been sent to me by Mujamir. I hope I pronounced it right. If not, I'm sorry. From the workshop Replica Era. He talked to me about sending me this helmet in November, December, around that time, and I sent him my dimensions, and I guess he got to work. So I received it yesterday. I did not tell him a deadline for the helmet up until recently, since we are going to be going to Rome end of April, and I wanted to have a new helmet for that. Well, as you can see, it got to me in the middle of March, so he did stick to the deadline that I finally set. In that regard, I'm happy. The communication was well. It wasn't perfect, but that's not to be expected if both sides don't speak English as a first language. So overall speaking, I've had way worse. So their communication was fine too, I'd say so. Now let's take a look at the helmet. This is the new helmet. It's 2mm mild steel and a brass visor, as well as a brass striking guard. So this little thing here. First thing you notice is it's shiny. I don't think it's chromed. It looks like a mirror polish, which is decent. Issue with stuff that has a mirror polish, or well, issue with helmets that are made of steel but are not tinned, is that they do rust. So you need to oil them. You can see a few specks of rust here and there. Probably happened during transport. Yeah, I can't really see that with the light here. But nothing too bad. Nothing that couldn't be buffed out. And yeah, I wouldn't complain about that, to be honest. So the brass is 3mm in thickness. You can see it from the sides here very well. The visor is riveted, or has been riveted at the top as well as the bottom, and then you use these pins to secure it. Now that's not 100% historically accurate. Usually they only had pins at the top. And like with my old helmet, which I put right next to them, then they just slid in on the bottom. And they did not have a rivet right there. This is something that I added for safety reasons. So I'm fairly happy that he did do it that way. That gives me an advantage, as I can take out the visor if I needed to, because you can just bend these open and slide them out, take it out. But at the same time, if one rivet should fail, the visor is not going to just fall out, but will probably stay in place for a little bit longer, which enables the referee to stop the fight. So this is a very useful design. Doing it like this, so having a pin securing it on the top and then an additional rivet down here, has the advantage that it will definitely not fall out, but the disadvantage that if you want to take the visor out, you need to open the rivet. So this is a little bit more convenient. Let's talk about vision. Well, the eye holes are rather small for a Provocator helmet. I put it on already, and I have to say, you don't really notice that. It's more important to me that the helmet is safe, which it should be, looking at the dimensions of these holes and the thickness of the visor. So again, no complaints there. You can still see very well out of it, and it's fitting pretty good too. So I have sent Mo my dimensions, which are actually the same as for this helmet, inside dimensions, and he did stick to them. So I'm happy. There's not much more to say. He did what I asked him to do. I'm glad. Now, one more thing that I asked him to do. as you can see here, the side is fully closed. Compare this to this helmet. Now this side is closed too, but I had to add this plate that you can see behind the rest of it in order to make sure that it would be completely closed. Otherwise, if you're fighting with rather thin weapons, small blades, stuff like that, and you're going full contact, you're risking to get your ear pierced. Hasn't happened to me yet, happened to a friend of mine. It's not that nice actually. So that is a good design. What I'm not happy about, let's get to that now, is the size of the shoulder guard, so of this part here of the brim. Why am I not happy with it? Well, simply put, I asked for 12 centimeters, he gave me 7.5. You can see it. Let me show it. Now, that's not a huge issue because he did adhere to another design change that I asked him to do. Still, it's a little bit upsetting. Now, but let's talk about the other design change. If you look at both helmets, you see that they are not quite the same. Most remarkably, this shoulder guard is longer, like if you measure it like this, but it's steeper, which sucks. Why does it suck? Well, let's assume you're fighting and somebody, let's just get this knife for that. Somebody stabs you in the shoulder. As this is going down towards your shoulder, if you don't have your entire shoulder underneath it, he will hit you there, you will slide down and right into your shoulder. You are not going to have fun with that. As this is not as steep, chances that he will hit you there and then slide downwards towards your shoulders are slimmer. So I do prefer a less angled shoulder guard. Which is also the reason why this is going to give me as much protection as this one. So, not a huge complaint, but a little bit upsetting. Maybe I should have been more clear or asked for additional pictures before giving the okay to send the helmet. Talking about shipping, he sent me a shipping tracking number for DHL, which is our local postal service. Once it got to Germany, I could easily track it, and it was here within a few days. So again, overall speaking, I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe we should, last but not least, talk about the price of this beauty. Wait, one more thing, which is also nice. He did add some attachments so you could put feathers in. They are riveted on, which is okay. I do prefer when they are welded on, for the simple reason that if you rivet on, as you can see it here, you have it open in the bottom. Whoop. Let's see if we get this sharp. So you cannot use candle wax, just drip it in there and the feather is secured. You have to use a different method of attachment. But that's, well, let's see if we can get this sharp again. There we go. But that's complaining on a very high level. And for $150, this is very good work. Just get to say it. For $150, you cannot complain about this. You have 2mm mild steel, so it's sturdy enough to take any blow that you could receive in gladiatorial combat. It has a 3mm visor, so that's pretty secure too, especially since it's brass and not steel. Solid hit guard. Oh yeah, something about this which I like too is it doesn't flap around a whole lot. It can't flap over and impair your fighting. This one used to have one, but it broke, which is also a reason why I like this a lot more. It's one solid piece. It's not two thin pieces welded together. So yeah, very happy with it. For 150 bucks plus shipping, you can't expect much more. It's very decent price. So for somebody who's looking for a low budget Provocator helmet, I would definitely recommend this. It does come with a small leather liner as well. Now, that's a matter of taste, if you want something like that or not. If you don't want it, it's glued in, so a little bit of brake cleaner should get it right off. Could have used thicker leather, but again, you can't complain that much for that price. It's decent craftsmanship, fair price. As always, when you order from some other place that's not within your country, I would always recommend only via PayPal and not via friends, only via business transaction, PayPal stuff, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm happy, and I think I'm gonna end this here or it's gonna be too long.